Wait, what the fuck? I just put on my headset. I wasn't listening to anything before that. What are you idiots talking about now?
So what I was going to say is that when you microwave, like, when you get leftover mashed potatoes from Thanksgiving,
Uh-huh.
and then you put them in the microwave and they're kind of weird. It's hard to when you got stir them around.
Nope,
you
you
got a little bit of
lost
water
me.
and shit.
You lost me. I usually just put them in the damn microwave and I'm good.
Yeah, see, no, but they don't turn out as good as they were originally, right?
So you mean like leftovers, right?
Yeah, no, not it's Thanksgiving dinner. Let's pop the fuckers. No, leftover mashed potatoes.
See, but you didn't say that.
It should be implied.
Leftover mashed potatoes are never going to be as good as regular mashed potatoes.
That's the thing. You would think that, but I microwaved some of my grandma's mashed potatoes and they tasted fantastic. And I don't know what fucking witchcraft she did, what fucking magical brew she put in there, because she made them on Halloween.
Tad. Wait, hold up. 1 second. What?
I think we figured it out.
Halloween mashed potatoes?
They're Halloween mashed potatoes, and they were just as silky smooth and just as buttery as they were when I first had them on Halloween. 48 hours later.
Ignoring Halloween mashed potatoes and whatever bizarre fantasy land you live in where that's acceptable, the correct answer here that you should know is that old people are magical. They do things that shouldn't work.
Seems about right to me.
She also gave me a bag of candy that they were supposed to hand out to kids, but no one came by. So, I went over there.
That
pretty good morning.
But Tad, they did hand it out to kids.
Oh.
Got him. Can't believe Tad's fucking dead. Press F.
All right, Dan, you go ahead and do the intro.
Welcome back to Revival. We've got some fun stuff lined up. So when we last left you nerds, you were driving right on back to Little Rock with a new hire, and this is really going to highlight how the game is going to change at this point. So what we're going to do here is you guys are driving right on back to Little Rock to start your expedition way out west, fraught with perils of literally no mana, uncharted roads and territories, and who the hell knows what actually is in complete mana dead zones. People don't exactly fund expeditions out that way. So, as opposed to a really zoomed in exploration sort of thing that we've been doing, we're going to take a step back. So think of this going from for all of us gamers in the audience.
It's the fast travel system from Skyrim.
No, actually I was about to say it's going to go from Skyrim to XCOM.
Oh, I don't like XCOM.
Did XCOM have a travel system?
Yeah. Meaning, you guys are going to be able to jump into what you want to do from a bit of a detached, top-down perspective here. So, we're going Oregon Trail here now. We aren't going to have to look at and chronicle every single little tiny thing, because this is all part of one big-ass expedition out west, right?
Okay, first order of business.
It's gone from first person to third person. So,
first order of business, I'm buying 12 grandfather clocks.
Okay. Fantastic. You got dysentery and died.
We had to get the Oregon Trail jokes out of the way.
Yeah, you just had to. So, anyway, on that note, though, you guys leveled up. It's not on the note at all, but we needed to get away from it anyway. Grats. So, what all did you losers take? Let's start with Elias.
Yeah, I took a skill in punching, which lets me punch things harder. Actually, the skill that the actual skill that I took was what's it called? Crashing Tempest Style, which is a feat that gives me +2 to flurry of blows damage when wielding a club, which I just so happen to be technically wielding.
You're Specky
So
bat.
now, Specky bat. Now, technically, every time I land centered flurry of blows, it's a guaranteed 10 damage.
Yep, which is a lot. So at
That's
level 4, you guys...
more than ideal in a normal hit.
So at level 4, you guys get a feat and +1 to 2 separate stats.
Yes.
Pretty much everybody just upgraded their 2 main stats, I believe. So for
I
Elias,
put
Dex, and Wisdom.
Yeah.
And basically everybody just put 1 into each of their mains because that's kind of what you have to do. It's one of the problems with 4E is that there really isn't much incentive to do anything other than put stats in your main stats. Nobody's ability modifiers went up though because your modifiers
19.
only go up on even numbers.
Yeah. I'm at 19 in Dex and Wisdom, so I'm still at +4.
Next up, what happened to Patton?
Well, Patton, upon thinking about it, it's probably more useful if I go before everyone else so I can hit him with that car battery. Sorry.
Car battler.
Shit.
I've been noticing it hasn't exactly been going as drafted up because by the time Patton gets to go in the turn order, everybody's already taken so much damage and is so displaced by all the enemies that you never get to use magic weapon or any of your buffs and stuff.
Yeah. So Patton, I went ahead and I took battle intuition. I used my wisdom modifier for initiative and I get a +2, so I have a fucking +10. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Wait, is your initiative seriously +10 now?
I think it's 8, right?
Oh, is the plus? Okay, so the 8 is included, or the +2.
Yeah, that's
okay.
all. That's all. Yeah, that's all factored in there.
Okay, that's right. Okay, because it's my wisdom modifier is 4, and then then half level, and then that. Okay, yeah, so it is 8.
Yep.
So it's only +8.
Mm-hmm.
You finally got past me in initiative.
I'm too fast.
Next up, what did
You're just
Giron
gonna roll
take?
1s on initiatives.
Giron took Imperious Majesty, which is a tiefling racial feat, which lets me use my charisma instead of my dex for my initiative modifier, which...
Gee, it seems like there was a bit of a theme.
Yeah, the controller casters are not going nearly as early as we need to be. So,
I swear to God, if everyone takes an initiative bonus and just ends up being higher than me anyway, I'm gonna be so pissed.
Elias goes first and gets his fucking shit kicked in.
And in addition to my newfound initiative, I also, if I attack a target that has not yet acted in the encounter, it takes a penalty to attack rolls equal to my charisma modifier, which at this point would be 5.
Whoa.
So they can't fucking hit me.
That's an attack roll. It takes a penalty to attack rolls against you, correct?
Yes, against me.
Yeah, not just everything. That would be would be
overpowered.
Ridiculously busted. So, well, actually, from what Tad said there, that this is actually a thing that you guys haven't really been able to use. Is that if you all have good initiative, then you could start actually holding your turns and planning out encounters that way.
That is true.
Like, you don't actually have to just deal with your initiatives as they've come.
If we all roll higher than the than enemies for initiative, or at least close to each other for initiative, that means we can basically order it how we want to do it.
Yeah, you can set up your stuff that way. So, next up, we got John. And John has the biggest thing going on. So this was hinted at last episode.
Okay.
This was a little bit hinted at last episode. That's all I was saying.
Okay.
Eagle-eyed listeners.
Hey!
It's like a fucking Mexican standoff.
Please finish your sentence.
No, I did. I wasn't waiting for you to say
said
things
eagle-eyed listeners.
Yeah,
there was more to that.
No, that was it.
That was it.
I was saying,
and when I start talking, you're not going to start talking.
And the people can.
What the fuck does
assume.
eagle-eyed listeners mean?
It was
fucking
a fucking
cares?
joke. Eagle-eyed viewers might have noticed, but eagle-eyed listeners, because it's a joke, because they can't see it, because it's audio only.
Well, that doesn't make sense.
Oh my god, you fucking people. Right. What feat did you take?
So John realized that he's a 6.5 foot tall orc. He's now multi-classing into barbarian.
Right.
So I took Berserker's Fury, and I'm a lot better at punching things.
Mm-hmm. So what are the exact benefits of Berserker's Fury there? And we'll have to explain, I'll explain multi-classing after you tell them what it does.
Sure. So, I believe it was once per day, I can get +2 to damage rolls for an encounter.
Mm-hmm. And you also got training in athletics.
Yes, in athletics.
And you are considered a barbarian for the purposes of the game. So let me just explain how that works real quick. Multi-classing in 4E doesn't exactly work like in 3.5 or I believe 5. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the system for multi-classing. I think it's a little bit restrictive, but it also prevents things from getting completely broken. Basically, the way that it works is that multi-classing is just done through feats. So he took Berserker's Fury, which makes him count as a barbarian for the purposes of the game. So if anything cares about somebody being a barbarian, you count as a barbarian. And you get a little bit of the barbarian skill set with the +2 to damage rolls buff for the end of the encounter, but you can use it once per day. And from here on out, John can take, instead of taking just normal feats, he can take multi-class feats when he gets new feats, which will let him swap out certain powers that he has for barbarian powers, eventually letting him swap out dailies and all of that. So the more you work at it, the better of a pseudo-barbarian you can be. But, flavor-wise speaking, that was just, as you said, John realizing, you're a massive fucking orc.
Well, I kind of thought it was like John has now been out and about fighting enough to realize that like maybe being a little more rough and tumble and more willing to attack rather than just, hold back all the time is
literally that.
Prudent.
He goes, "Oh wow, I can hit things really hard. I'm way taller and stronger than everyone else."
Yeah, it's that moment on the playground when the kid who hit puberty way earlier than everybody else realizes that like just play shoving just sends people flying. It's the kid with the fucking mustache who becomes king of 5th grade.
That's John now.
So anyway, that was what's going on. So the game itself right now is going to take on a bit more of a XCOM managerial bent. So you guys are on your way back to Little Rock with your newfound ally/guide in tow, and let's take some inventory, right?
Okay.
So, Pat, you've been keeping track of every of your guys' cash, right?
Yes.
Please tell the rest of everybody how much money you guys have right now.
Well, we've got 1,950 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm. So, straight away, you're going to need to subtract 400 from that for repairs.
Out of my control. Nothing I can do about it.
Right? This is... It's going to cost... It costs a bit, and it takes a decent amount of time to get this truck back to full capacity, right?
Patton, I hope you're happy, you fucking piece of shit.
So it's going to take about like a week to do full repairs, and during that time, if there's anything you guys want to do, please, just
I know what I want to do.
Say if there's stuff that you want to do.
I want to go back to I want to go get Lazarus to make me some of that pecan pie.
All right, you go off and you go off and do that. You have as much pecan pie as you can physically carry.
I want to go around the grounds and get seeds of pretty much every kind of plant that I can get, and if there's any of them that are like, I don't know if you want me to roll for this, like particularly interesting, I'd like to make a little sapling, like like a potted plant version, basically.
Okay, give me a nature check.
Maybe 3 or 4 of those that I can carry with me. Nature check, that will be 20.
Okay, 20 total?
Yeah, 20 total.
All right. So remember, these are going to be separate. Patton, please add 200 gold worth of residuum, as in magical components. And this is the important bit here. You guys, now that so this is what's happening in the time while Patton is repairing the truck and everything, and while you draft some people to help you repair the truck. You're also going to be able to get some amount of plants for study and for mana production in the vehicle.
Yes. But these, I wanted to have like 2 or 3 in particular that maybe aren't the best mana producing, but are interesting, that I can just carry around with me.
Right, yeah. You're setting up your little botany thing there. Also, you can add additional like containers and stuff to this truck.
Oh yeah, for sure. I want to have a. I want to have
300
a
residuum,
lab.
right?
200.
200. Okay.
Don't you try to nickel and dime me right now? Yeah.
All right. So what I want to do is I want to set up a range extender to make it so I don't lose connection in the dead zones.
Okay, that's a good idea to do in advance.
And how would I go about doing that? Do I just say I do it?
Give me an Arcana check. Let's see how you set this up.
Okay. All right. All my bonuses are still the same. Yeah. That's 23.
23. All right. Let me just get some notes here.
Anyway, by the way, we have 700 residuum in total now.
Yep, to do for rituals and making magical shit.
So are we gonna like magically seal up the car too, or the truck?
Yes, that's going to be something that you're actually going to need to do. Thank you for bringing that up.
I don't want to die out there.
Yeah, that is actually something very important to bring up. That is something that you're going to have to do, but it'll take time. So you could either just wait longer in Little Rock and do that here, or move out and kind of do it as you go piecemeal.
Probably better do that here if we have.
It's up to you guys. So, the other thing to look at here is that you guys have. It's not just you anymore. You have, your team. You've got your little squad building up here. You got resources to call on, right?
Mm-hmm.
If at any point you want to send people who are, in your team here out to go do stuff within reason, you can do so. So if you want to get Dr. Robo working on fabrication and stuff for you, if you want to, send Alonzo out to scout, these are things that you can now do.
So does anything happen with my range extender, or are we just saying it's there?
Oh no, we were getting back to that. So
okay.
You had already set up your range one of the previous range extenders before, but yes, going out and finding a good radio tower to then do that extension thing on is going to have taken you a bit of time and a bit of gas. So right away, that's going to cost you an additional, let's say, 50 gold, just worth of gas, to have gone and do that. And this is really what I'm trying to hammer down with, because we got a lot of viewers being like, "Oh, are you making them like, track how much food's in their packs and stuff?" And before, no, because it wasn't important. But now you guys are going to have to actually, make it all the way out there with the resources and funds that you have. So all the decisions that you make are going to have to be predicated on, can we actually afford to do this right now? Stuff ain't free no more.
We're going to have to start resource management.
Well, yep. I'm sure y'all can handle that.
Damn it, John.
I've never been good with money.
It's not all just straight money. It's also more about time as well.
I never been good with time. I'm just going to sit over here, eat me some pie. Let me know how it goes.
But yeah, when the there isn't a massive rush for you to do it. Setting up a range extender on one of these radio towers is fairly trivial for you. The only reason it was so hard the previous time was because you were on a time crunch in a mana dead zone. Right?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can go out and do that.
All right.
So, were you guys planning on fabricating this truck now to be fully mana tight here, or what are you doing there?
I feel like it'd be easier to do it here.
Yeah, I think we've got everything here that we need to get this going. I mean, there's not exactly anywhere, unless we want to go all the way back to one of the larger cities. If there's not enough here that we can use.
Yeah, you could also, possibly just call up Casey and ask for advice on what they use for their stuff.
Yeah, because they'll be able to get us if there's things, because we're here for a week. While this is getting fixed up, if there's anything that they need to get, there's a whole train system. He can grab something for us if we need it.
Yeah, and Casey is 100% on board with this. Casey just thinks this is sick.
Mm-hmm. As anyone should.
Right. So you can get some help with that if required. However, fully mana proofing this thing is going to cost you an additional 400.
I mean, we literally need to do that, so.
So now we are down to 700 gold pieces.
Thanks, Dan.
All right, so
now what you guys are going to need to do is plot a route. You got to think up a plan, you got to plot a route, figure out exactly what you're going to do.
Well,
right,
where was
go west.
where was our goal location? Somewhere on the coast.
Yeah, your goal was off of the was somewhere near the coast, and it was forested.
Well, there's a fuck ton of forests all in California. So, were they redwoods that they mentioned in that thing?
It's been a while, but yes, in my notes, if I didn't mention it in that episode, which I believe I did, yes.
Well, okay, I don't know if Elias knows where if there's a redwood national park in California.
You can look at a map.
Oh yeah, I guess they all have that. But does it say Redwood National? Yeah, there's Redwood National and State Parks up by Big Lagoon.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, for some advice on kind of a more optimal route, because Alonza hasn't been out that far, right?
Right.
Let's see. I'm trying to think back of any trade routes that I'm vaguely aware of that I might have come across or heard about from when I was doing the scrap work. Because I definitely haven't gone that far out, but I may have heard of someone else. So, want me to go ahead and roll history on that?
Sure. That seems perfectly reasonable.
All right, let's get that 2, baby. 4 plus 13, so 17.
So 17?
Yep.
Okay. So on a 17, here, 1 second. Let me just So what you would know about that is that the areas further north, so basically everything along I-90 and such, leading up into Wyoming and Oregon, those are the routes that are a bit more traveled and a bit more well known because they connect over towards Yellowstone.
Do we know anything about Yellowstone?
He doesn't know much. The basic thing that Patton would know is that that's where a lot of the people out in Detroit and Chicago source their various metals and raw materials from.
So that's a bit. So we have to go pretty far north to get up to there, but that's probably our best bet. Rather than forging a new, I would recommend that over trying to forge a direct line over there. A straight line to the northwest there.
So one of your other routes, if you would just look at your map, right? Because this is the nice thing is that you can just use any map to look at this. Going up along, like, just taking I-40 all the way is pretty freaking direct.
You can take I-40 and then go up through 93 through Las Vegas.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, the other thing with that is that you really have to look at and plan areas where you'll be able to get resources.
Las Vegas.
The problem with going up north that Patton would know is a lot of it is relatively empty in terms of areas for good scrap and good resource gathering, right? Like there isn't much that is going to be of extreme use to you guys in a random small town in South Dakota.
Or in Montana or Wyoming.
Right. It's a lot of open plains. It's a lot of exposed areas where you have no idea what's going on there.
Yeah, I mean, we're in Arkansas right now, so we're in Little Rock. So if we take 40, that takes us past Fort Smith. That takes us through Oklahoma City. The biggest problem is going to be Oklahoma City to Amarillo. Like through that part of Texas, there's like basically nothing.
Yeah, and these are the things that you guys are going to have to think about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but
what was
the thing
Giron?
is, if we follow 40 all the way to Albuquerque, and then like there's the Petrified Forest Natural Park, which could be really interesting.
I see.
What?
Well, what I was thinking was Jerry's watched quite a few movies, and in his time, he must have seen like some historical pictures. So I was thinking if I can just like rack my brain to see if I know anything about like say Manifest Destiny or like the Lewis and Clark Trail, see if there's like any landmarks.
What?
I mean, what exactly are you looking for here?
Like places we could stop, like little checkpoints we can put on our little route we're trying to make here.
Dude, we could just look at a map though.
Yeah, that's so. You would have to phrase it a bit better because I'm not entirely sure what you want to do. Because any historical, like, movies and stuff would be of basically no use to you because you're in a gigantic semi.
Well, but the thing is that when we say we're looking at Google Maps, you can go to any gas station and get a map, a paper map of the United States that will have all of these routes and cities and stuff on them.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But what historical fiction got us?
And the other thing about that is that maps of the world and the United States are not uncommon in any way, shape, or form and would not have deteriorated, right? You can keep a laminated map in good condition for who knows how long, right? And you can find one of those very easily, or just a globe.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, people are not at a loss for maps or knowing what is where. The problem is figuring out exactly what is where, right?
And what's passable and what's not.
Yeah, there's no big,
we could go down,
on a big map, there's not going to be here there be dragons, except, kind of there is.
Yeah, that's New York.
I mean, we might be able to look at Lewis and Clark and see what areas were passable.
Total side on the side, but I mean, I gotta imagine the first time that Red saw something that said "Here be dragons," he was like, "Oh yeah, though."
Yeah, so,
dude, he's got to have one of those signs that says "Here be dragons" like hung up over one of his mansions.
Oh, absolutely,
just for shits.
Oh, 100%. But so if Jiron was going to try and like get that sort of info as to where is good, where isn't, he would probably be best served just like talking to Casey or like schmoozing with people, right?
Right. I could see how far west Highway Star's been.
Yeah, that's also a good thing out there. So
you can always play, telephone with Highway Star and just tell him to like send out a call for info.
Yeah,
is he on
the other
board?
thing though is that Yeah, that's the other problem, is that he's grateful to you guys, but he's not exactly ride or die.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying ride or die. I'm just saying, hey, Highway Star, ask around and see if anybody's heard about like big roadblocks, big things that might get on our way on I-40.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is that if you would do that, this would just be a freebie. Not many people at all are going to be like actively driving on those big highways going out west. There's a pretty hard line somewhere right around where you guys are that is, we don't really go past here, right?
Yeah.
There's, everything that's like everything from the south of Wyoming to about the west side of, say, Illinois is more or less just, we don't really have much reason to go out here right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much that people are like, oh, that's so sketchy and scary. It's more of, it's not worth it.
Right. So, I mean, if you had to draw an imaginary line through, like, where we can start to expect to see, like, totally pristine or rather completely unlooted places, that would be like the line between North Dakota and Montana, and then just drag it straight down.
Yeah, basically. And also from like the south of Nebraska to the west of Missouri straight down.
Right, because it's kind of like a semicircle that cuts the United States across. So pretty much like all of Texas.
Yeah. That's,
Are we going to Texas?
The thing is that you potentially there will be small little settlements and stuff like that in basically wherever you go, but it's going to be far less likely to be full on like established civilizations. If you're going to find anything, it's going to be, random orc tribes, it's going to be random knoll tribes, things like
or
that.
Like whole towns that are basically nobody's been to since the collapse.
Yeah, or things just the most sentient things you're going to find are just going to be like places overrun with little goblins.
Little
gabos.
Little kobolds.
Yeah, stuff like that. Feral goblin, kobold, basically replacing the caves and stuff for just small towns and cities, right?
Yeah.
Because the population has been spread so much.
Right.
America is huge compared to your average fantasy world map.
Right.
So
I wonder if have we dealt with differences in gravity? Do we know if it's about standard?
Same.
Differences.
That would be
gravity.
too interesting. Well, okay, so the plane that you come from, is that planet Earth-sized? Is it the same mass? If not,
I mean,
planet.
we wouldn't know.
What do you mean planet? It's a plane of existence, dummy.
You dummy.
Yeah, and you know what that plane is?
You
it's
know
flat.
pretty. God, no, we're not doing flat. What is this? Flat
Patton is a
planers?
flat earther.
Oh my god, flat rockers, here we go.
Michael, the realm above the plane is the astral plane. Come on.
I mean, this is just
like
raising a lot of
cosmos.
questions. Like,
it's not like there's a cosmos. What are you, stupid?
but like, I mean,
that's
I'm sorry,
thing
but this
that
is
you
actually
see in the
a
sky
thing.
is the astral sea, you dummy.
No,
it's
no,
a
no, no,
place
no,
you
shut
can
up.
go to.
No, shut up. Because here's the big problem, though. Because like, there's this thing called curvature. And if you don't have it, then that fucks up everything. Like,
no, it's curved.
No, it's curved.
But like, when they came to Earth, they'd be like, "Oh, this is a sphere. There's like space and shit."
No, yeah, but it's the astral realm. Come on, man.
It's
No,
just
but,
weird
like,
here. It's mannerless and curved.
You're all bothering me now.
Listen, all I'm saying is, if this isn't flat, Patton's gonna make it flat.
Elias would know about the concept of just an astral realm, and yeah, that's a place that you can go.
Yes, but he wouldn't be like, oh, space is the astral realm.
No, that's what basically everybody would. Like,
why not?
So aside, back on the old natural realm, right? You got the natural realm, then you got the realm above that, which is the astral sea, which you can see from the natural realm. That's the thing above you. But that realm is an actual physical place that you can go. It's not an ever-expanding mass of everything.
Yeah, but it is here.
It's a finite location.
But how do you know that?
Because all of the books say that.
Yeah, and because that's where the gods are. That's where the gods' respective afterlives and holy cities are. That's what that is.
Yeah, but on the rock, where it's an expanding universe. Like,
it's an expanding infinite astral sea that goes to who the fuck knows where. The humans here didn't even know.
I feel like this is a bigger issue that should be freaking out a lot of people.
No, it kind of is, but they're ignoring it.
Yeah, it's like, hey, did you know that the astral sea here and everything that everyone said, it's just expanding infinitely, and there's billions of stars and galaxies and shit?
And even the humans here had no idea what the fuck was going on up there? So basically, to the people here, it's like you look up and you see the void, which was a place before as well.
Is there like a cult built around the idea that space is the void? And you can see that from here?
Probably.
Can we kill him?
You probably already have. Anyway, after this completely unnecessary little side.
I feel like it was very necessary.
So, Elias spends a week cultivating plants and then alternately
That's not all I'm doing.
Looking up at the sky and screaming.
Don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it.
It's not terrifying at all.
Elias is just going, this place is fucked, this place is fucked, this place is fucked.
Ooh, that's a nice plant.
No, Elias. All those stars are angels looking down on you.
John, I don't think that's true, but I don't know enough about angels to refute it.
Fair enough. Anyway. So, fully mana-proofing your truck here is going to take a good bit of time, but you can draft in the help of Casey and a couple other steel driver crews to help you out with it, and they are very enthusiastic about it. The concept of road train is something that they were wanting to do, and that a couple of people have done as like little side things, but Casey is very, very enthusiastic about going out west. That's kind of his deal. He hadn't been able to, from what he tells Patton as you're working on this, and over the course of a couple of days, is that he had been trying to convince people into just going on a big-ass expedition, out west, and then eventually further, but he could never actually convince people to go off and do it because it was, quote, stupid and a suicide mission for, quote, no reason.
That's, to Patton, that reads as very smart. Definitely got to do it. Let me get at it.
Yeah. So now that there's an actual goal with a promise of reward, right?
Wait, what's the reward?
The reward is this. No,
the friends we make along the way
is your crazy artifact hunt, right?
That's true.
Which is, widely televised and all of that.
Like a couple hundred people are watching?
No,
hey now.
A lot of people are watching, and it's the exposure for the steel drivers. Casey gets to basically be an action hero, right? And if it's like how you guys are setting it up, it's first dibs on whatever is around a crazy strong magical artifact, right?
Well, and there's all the towns that are completely unlooted that we're going to be going through, so there's tech and stuff to be found.
Basically, now that there is funding to go out there, it's the push that you need to go over. And, basically, by you guys going over, it's made it more economically viable for people to follow along. You need a convoy, right?
Right. Wait, so are we going to get Casey to make his own road train to come with us?
No, he's following along on the actual train tracks.
Do those train tracks actually go along I-40? Are there train tracks?
Yeah. There's train tracks everywhere. He's not going to be following directly right next to you, but he can follow along.
He put his train literally on the road.
Yeah, I know he's not doing that.
Yeah, but
I am confusion.
And it's more of he's doing a bunch of stuff along the way to make money while he's doing it. So it's more of assumed that if you need a steel driver crew, they can send one over.
All right.
And he's going to be following along. But yeah, they still got to make money.
You got to get that dollar, that Skrilla.
And also, the big secret as to why it's become viable suddenly is, as well, with word getting out that Red is funding you guys to go all the way over here, right? When Red wants something done, he throws money at it like crazy, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So the number of people who are speculating, right? And here's where I get to do my fun little economics thing, is word gets out that a group of people are traversing a mana dead zone to go out crazy far west. The number of people, the number of artificer guilds and merchant trading guilds and stuff that are going to speculate that if Red is sending out these randos to go do this, these people who aren't established in the merchant scene, they aren't artificers that we know of, they're just these guys, and they're going out west.
Cool guys.
Yeah, they're doing this crazy stuff, but it's just, why are they doing it? We aren't entirely sure. People are thinking that there's something else there that's some hidden little treasure that he's sending you out to get in on the down low, and so that's going to spark a slew of speculative investing into traveling out west.
Right. Contracts for going out west are going to become more viable, and there's going to be more people, doing that kind of thing.
Right, because if Red is putting money into it, it's a safe bet that it's going to become a thing.
Right.
Basically, what's happening here is the equivalent of, Google starts drilling somewhere. It's they aren't even an oil company. What the fuck are they drilling for, right?
Sounds like a pretty boring scenario.
Oh, shut up.
Oh, God. Right,
we're the Elon Musk of westward expansion.
Yeah, that's about the effect that you're seeing here. Is
I'll show you some
a group of people who aren't even related to the things that would normally finance people going out and doing that sort of thing are suddenly doing this. I bet there's money here, right?
True.
So,
could we cut some deals to get some bodyguard or something, or get an escort going?
You absolutely could.
I'm your bodyguards.
What are we, a bunch of bitches?
If you want to add to your entourage here, you absolutely can. If you want to make a B team, you can.
I feel like that would be a good idea, just because we are almost certainly going to get set upon at least once on our way out there, and I don't want to have to lose the road train because we get got.
That as well. If you think, okay, while we're traveling, we can send people out to scout and go get supplies. That's also something that you could be doing.
So you want to hire maybe 3-4 cars worth of people?
Yeah. Cut a deal with the artificer guilds or people that are being speculative about this shit.
Yeah, or just you could do that, or you could just talk to Red.
Yeah, we could do that.
It's up to you what sort of crew you want to assemble. Hell, you could go super cheap and expendable if you wanted to be jackasses. You could just go hey goblins, you guys wanna go do some crazy shit?
Way too shit on my playstyle.
Wait. Wait, how? I don't get it.
No, it was a joke.
He was calling himself a jackass.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
My thinking was that if we were going to do that, we should hire them on a retainer basis, which is basically they get to travel along with us with the understanding that when we call them, they come to us, but otherwise they're being paid with like a low fixed salary, but then they can just loot whatever they want as they go along.
Yeah, with basically a security escort and a security blanket of you guys already did the modifications necessary to this vehicle to have a moving safe point.
Yeah. So like we'll be the base camp, and then we just want them to be in a perimeter around us, essentially.
Yeah.
Basically making a convoy. That's something you could do. You could do that via calling up Red and just asking for a bunch of those Dragonborn that aren't doing anything anyway, other than looking cool and being like, we're the big dragon's henchmen.
I mean, I think that we should save some money because we don't know how long this is going to last, and we definitely don't want it to run into a situation where we can't pay our bodyguards, because I don't know if you guys have ever read a history book, but when you have mercenaries and you can't pay them, it doesn't work well.
Yeah.
And then even if they're from Red, like once we get out west to a certain point, if we find something really good, it doesn't matter how much we're paying them.
Well, actually, that's the thing that Elias might not know that Giron would know, right?
Yeah.
If that's a in-character concern, which is, and this might be a good time to actually jump back in and do an in-character discussion, but basically, you've got just to set it up for you. You know, the options that you guys would have readily available to you if you wanted to get a crew, right?
Yeah.
Are standard ass mercenaries, right? Which would likely come from somewhere in New York or Detroit, Chicago, those general surrounding areas. They would be, very loyal up to the point that you have money, right?
Yeah.
Because there are very reputable just security details and all of that. You could hire on a retainer scrapping crew. So if you just went strict mercenaries, that would just be strict mercenaries. You could hire on a couple of salvaging crews under the retainer contract like that. You could just, tame a pack of feral goblins.
I like the sound of that.
I absolutely refuse to attempt to tame a pack of feral goblins.
I mean, John,
a pack of feral kobolds.
I absolutely enthusiastically encourage taming a pack of feral kobolds.
Would never even cross my mind, but I mean,